Hello and welcome back to FTNTS on YT. It's the only YT with FTNTS. I'm Michael May. Come on in. My guest today is Daniel Foxx. Hey Daniel, how are you?
Hi Michael, I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
Good.
As you know, you're a big fan of FTNTS, is that right?
As we know, yes I am. Listen to them all.
You said you've listened to every episode of FTNTS. It's a fucking visual format.
No, I don't watch it. I find you unbearable to watch, but I do listen to it.
So as you all know, I always start every episode by telling my guests how I feel about them. Is that all right with you?
Yes.
Right. How I feel about you.
Well, the last one that I watched, you said I always start with a compliment, and you've just changed that to how I feel about them. So I feel like this isn't going to be...
We always start here by me telling you how I feel about you. Is that okay? How I feel about them is how I feel about them. What I feel about is how I feel. First thing we do here at FTNTS is I compliment my guest. Is that okay with you?
Yes. Are you about to roast me?
I feel really warm towards you.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. I really like you. And I don't know, like, not to say I don't know why, as if, like, it's sort of unthinkable that someone might really like you. But I just do. I really feel like we get along. Did you think I really like you?
do I think it's a lie in retro? Oh, before you said that to me?
Yeah.
No. Like a bit. Like I knew we got on, but it was nice. I felt genuinely quite warmed. My reaction in there of being like, oh, I found that very heartwarming.
Yeah, because I do really like you, and I never tell people. I think it's kind of weird to tell people that you really like them. I heard that coming out. You have a gear shift, such an admirable gear shift to, like, you can be like a different version of yourself and them all be equally you, I would say.
Oh, that's very nice.
Because your stage persona is like a very dialed up version of you, right? Mm-hmm. But then the dialed down version of you is like the same. I don't know if you ever dial down your personality. You just are like operating at a regular level.
Yeah. I also think it's not even that it's necessarily dialed up I've had it where some people I've come off stage and they've gone, you're a completely different person on stage. I'm like, no, I'm a completely different person with you because you're boring, whoever it is. Mm-hmm. But like, who I am on stage is absolutely who I would be if I was a bit drunk with some friends.
Yes.
And like, of course I'm not going to keep myself at my less funny version of me and my less excitable version of me when I am performing to 100 people.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to be the more excitable version.
Yeah. It's almost like you corner off the most entertaining part of your personality and then allow it to fill the rest of the stuff that you've taken away.
We're showing off, and you don't show off with like the most boring and quiet part of yourself. What did you do? But most people don't show off with.
I felt that one coming, so it didn't hurt.
It's nice that you think they are connected, because I don't love the idea of having completely disparate characters that aren't actually from yourself.
Yeah.
So that's very nice, thank you.
All right, question one.
Hang on.
Question one.
Hang on.
Question one.
Hang on. Hang on. Hang on. Can I pay you a compliment? Because I think it's quite interesting.
All right.
I think it's quite interesting. Because it's the complete opposite of what you just said to me.
Are you about to roast me?
I think you're an incredibly rooted person, and I've always found you quite mysterious because I think you're exactly the same on stage as off.
Wow.
And very just kind of like, you have your opinions on things and you have your ways of being, and you just are that all the time.
Wow.
And it doesn't, whereas I think I've had to do a lot of work at stopping myself from chameleoning to what anyone wants me to be at any given time.
Die forever at 60.
Yeah, me too.
I'd live forever at 60.
Yeah, me too.
You feel quite grounded to me, which I find very compelling.
Really?
But it is the opposite of myself.
Really? I heavily disagree, but...
Really?
Question one. Your debut album of stand-up is going to be called Villain.
Yes.
My favourite villain is that cracky one from The Emperor's New Groove.
Yes. Yzma.
Yzma. Her name's Yzma, is it? Yzma?
Yzma.
Yzma.
Is.
To Machynlleth Festival.
Machynlleth.
Paliki.
Yzma.
Yzma. Yzma's my favourite.
Yeah.
Because of her like mad and persistent pursuit of power. Mm-hmm. Do you want to be famous?
Yes.
Why?
Would you like a funny answer or a heartfelt answer?
Somewhere between the two would be perfect for the show.
Yeah, okay. I think it would be fun, and it's nice to be. I think it's nice to be acknowledged if you're doing something that, if you're doing an art form that necessitates performing to people, then being famous is a byproduct of doing well at it and doing it to larger and larger groups. So that is always going to happen as long as you are pushing and growing and enjoying what you do.
Fame is sort of like knowing the code to different rooms, right? That's the funnest, in my mind, that's the funnest thing about it. Is this access to spaces that other people don't have access to? Is that what it is?
No, I am a little slut for attention, and I like people to say, you're great. I also think that at some level of me, I want my childhood bullies to go, oh, fuck.
Yeah. Do you think that being bullied is a similar or sort of like inverse version of being famous already?
Yeah, maybe.
Like you're drawing attention and you have to manage to deal with it.
Yeah, possibly.
You also have to be very good at like disengaging and like sort of appearing
Yeah.
kind of unapproachable, I guess.
There's different ways of dealing with it.
Yeah, I
I
guess,
think that
yeah.
a lot of queer people lean into that. My therapist told me most people who are bullied have they fantasize when they're younger about either becoming famous or having magical powers. And I think both those things are the same thing. I always wanted to be a wizard. I wanted to be Galadriel or Gandalf, or one of those people. And it is your intellect becoming physical and able to defend yourself and get your revenge and all that stuff. It's like the actual tangible intellect.
Yep.
And comedy and fame are the next best thing, and do take on this. I think that's where a lot of camp comes from. It's like a defense, sassy defense.
Super sassy defense.
Super sassy defense. That's the name of your debut show, isn't it?
It's not called Super Sassy Defense.
But have you got the dance bit down yet?
All right, question 2. In 2015, you had a pretty cool hat.
Yes.
The hat said, do you remember the hat?
No.
Why did you agree?
Oh, I just think, already watching this back, I hate how much I'm trying to preempt. One thing that you always make me do, because you're so fucking deadpan, I feel the absolute need to run with everything you say or be caught out like a fucking fool. And it makes me say that like so much that you say, I'm like, yeah, absolutely. And then afterwards I'm like, I don't know what he's talking about.
All right, well, the hat said, fuck bitches, get money.
Oh, you've been on my Instagram.
I'll cut it in
okay.
here.
Such a creep.
The caption said, a lot of the time, I'm just about fucking bitches and getting money,
Yes.
really. A lot of the time, I worry about slipping into the more suicidal side of my depression. Which, if any, emotion do you find the most unsettling, uncomfortable, or upsetting? Because I don't really see you as someone who has much of a relationship with anger, for example.
No, irritability. I can be really impatient.
Okay.
But I think it's anxiety is the root of everything.
Yeah.
And I think that is the one I find the most unsettling. A lack of surety.
Surety. Surety.
I want everyone to know.
Surety.
I would like everybody to know.
You accidentally.
Not at all. I would
said
love
the word
everybody here
surety.
to know. I'm a professional playwright.
That's
I would love everybody to know that Michael turned to me with a little smile when we were watching this back, and he went, "Going to be bringing that one up," and I was like, "Why is that? Because you think it's not a word."
It's not a word.
But then we Googled it.
It is a word.
And it is exactly a word in the way that I used it.
Part of the point of the show is to treat sounding clever with contempt.
Or be caught out like a fucking fool. That's something I'd love. I'd love to just be one of those people that's incredibly confident and like knows exactly what they're doing all the time.
Yeah. I think you guys also jump in front of trains.
We do jump in front of trains.
I read something about how in most things... God, was it you that even sent me this article? It was the sort of thing that you would.
Not me.
About how in most stories and films, a villain is trying to change the status quo and a hero is trying to keep it the same.
Were FTNTS the status quo and you are arch nemesis Daniel Foxx, what would you change about the show?
God, everything. The lighting,
The set?
the format, the host, the set.
Who would be the host?
Me.
Where would it be set?
Versailles.
How would you light it?
Luminescent. And I think it should be delivered with surety. I find that dynamic, changing, reinventing behavior much more compelling. So power to Yzma.
Yeah, and you're sort of all about changing things rather than keeping things the same.
Yeah.
Which makes sense that you go towards like sort of frustration, feeling irritable, over feeling like angry or sad, because there's just slightly more productive emotions.
Yeah.
Do you think you've streamlined your emotional responses to be productive? Have you streamlined your... I was talking
What
absolute
a bullshit
nonsense.
question.
Such a bullshit question.
But
So
I
much
wish
of what I said was
but
bullshit.
have I streamlined my emotional responses to be more productive? Yeah. I think most of my anxiety comes from if I ever feel like I'm not producing something or working towards something. And if I'm in a situation where we're not doing that, that's when I'm the most irritable. My boyfriend is often like, you can't be impatient with someone because they're working through a thought that you've already got to the end of. And just because you want to go to something else now, you can't like...
Yeah, you have to let people get to the end
You
of
can't
the
just
thought.
rush.
All right, well, question 3. Daniel Foxx.
Hi.
My brother's name's Daniel.
How vile.
Foxes are that animal, fox.
Yeah.
What's your favourite animal?
Man. Or...
God.
I've had a little think, and actually I think that my favourite animal is a rhinoceros, because I think they're hot. They're so muscly and big.
Yeah, and
they've
horny.
and horny, and they've got a kind of like... They're like rugby boys, but of the wild, of the savannah. But I actually think I would love if dragons were real.
I didn't think dragons weren't real for a long time. Would you prefer the sort of like Asian dragon or the European dragon?
European, but yeah, European. I like the stockier, but I like it when they have quite a long neck.
And wings that expand.
Big wings. The Asian dragon's more magic because it just sort of levitates everywhere like a snake. But
it's
I
more
like
snake.
that they're big, flappy. I think they're always quite fabulous. And I'd love to curl up on like a pile of gems. Did you collect crystals when you were young?
I would have said that yours would be a bird of some description. And I would probably have said like...
Homophobic.
Yeah, of course, but that's fine.
It's an exotic bird.
It's a homophobic show.
Yes.
And yeah. Oh my God, we had Mark and you. Next series, none. It's not a homophobic show.
It is.
It's not a homophobic show.
It is a homophobic show.
It's not. It's actually...
It's a homophobic show.
In its essence, it's a queer show.
It's a bi show.
It's a queer show.
It's a homophobic show.
It's bisexual...
Propaganda is what it is.
And superiority.
I
you-
wasn't allowed in here without watching porn of women.
That's what we call it, isn't it? All right, well, we've come to the next section of the show. This is my favourite segment. And this is the point of the show when you get to ask me a question. Do you have a question for me, Daniel Foxx?
No. But I will think of one.
You're allowed to not ask me one.
No, I want to ask you one. Okay, where do you see yourself at 45 years old?
Passed away at my own hand.
Okay. I saw Nigella Lawson if you listen to her Desert Island Discs, the interviewer is actually unhinged, and Nigella is so graceful, but she talks about her luxury item that she would take to the desert being some medicine that she could overdose so that she could have a glamorous end.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing? Dark.
Nigella
Lovely.
Lawson
Nigella.
is
At the
planning her-
height of her like glamorous fame.
Wow, the height of her cocaine binge.
Fuck everyone that had to go over her for that, because
Yeah,
all
totally
of the
normal.
like all of those fucking journalists being like, and the photographers being like, no, cokey Nigella. It's like, you're all on coke.
Also,
And she's being abused.
and like chefs, the most cokey bunch.
Yeah, literally.
It's the
Leave
most
her
cokey
alone.
profession.
Like, oh, fuck it. And also, who
yeah.
cares? Who cares?
Do you think it was misogyny?
Yeah.
Because like cokey male chefs like Anthony Bourdain
Oh.
and Marco Pierre White and all them lot.
Yeah, 100%, because she's like, domestic goddess was the thing she lent into, and they were like, it was just a thing to, yeah, if it was
Yeah.
a male chef, they wouldn't have, if Gordon Ramsay was seen doing coke, no one would give a shit, and it wouldn't even be news.
That's true. I've seen him do coke.
Yes.
Yeah. Did
Wait,
it
was that when you were,
off my penis.
yeah,
Yep.
your pointy penis?
I actually don't have a pointy penis. To be fair, I've got genuinely, and I will say this to camera, I've got a surprisingly good penis.
Have you?
Yeah, it's fine.
Oh.
It's like 7 inches. It's not like thick, but it's like,
That's quite thick, Michael. He's like, oh, it's not that thick. He's doing this. He's doing this under the table.
all right, we've come to the final segment of the show. It's called Quickfire Questions. Falling on ice or surviving animal attacks?
Surviving animal attacks.
Live forever at 60 or die forever at 60?
Live forever at 60.
Is that because you've got good skin?
Yeah.
Would you die forever at 60 were your skin to reach a point of like leathery?
Would I live forever at 60 if I was leathery?
No, would you die forever at 60? Like if you were leathery,
Yeah.
you'd want to pass away,
No,
right?
I'd still live forever.
Really?
I'd love to be some sort of like ancient oracle.
Really?
Yeah, I'd think I'd love it.
I thought as soon as you see like a crack in your skin, you might consider anything at all.
Yeah, you're right.
Both of those things can be true.
Both of those things can be true. Maybe it would be an eternal quest to like, but I could sort of pin everything back, couldn't I?
Yeah, clip
Am
it
I
back.
allowed to? Yeah, clip it back then.
You live
They'll be
forever
like,
at
wow,
60.
the
we'll
oracle,
clip-
he knows so much. He does pin his face back that, yeah, but don't bring it up.
Favorite book, fiction only.
Where's my... I mean, The Picture of Dorian Gray.
Really?
Live forever, lovely,
Great skin.
great skin.
Favorite pair of pants, non-fiction only.
That I own or that other people own?
You own.
Okay. I have some Paul Smith, sort of nice grey ones that I bought recently.
Ooh, got the little zebra on them. Is that Paul Smith?
It might be Paul Smith, but they don't.
They're just plain grey.
They're plain with just the word Paul Smith in a lovely cursive.
Are we talking like boxers, briefs?
Yeah, like a trunk.
A boxer
like
brief. And is it buttons or is it like a little, like one of those passages?
Yeah, it's a passage.
It's sort of like, Pure Gym,
Yeah.
where they have that thing where you walk in and then it closes behind you and then it opens up the front.
Or I go to a Virgin Active, so I don't know.
Favorite Emma Chamberlain video?
I do not have one.
Have you since found one? You had a little look?
Yeah, I have. Her video, I mean, it's not one of her own, but on Architectural Digest,
Oh, unreal.
shows around her fucking gorgeous house, Emma
Her
Chamberlain.
house with so many little reading spots.
And Wikipedia tells me that she reinvented a whole way of vlogging.
Yeah, she did. Do you not know her?
No.
Oh my god.
Well, I know the name.
You'd fucking love her.
In a way, you've done that here, haven't you?
She's the best.
I'm going to get into it.
I love her so much. Favorite song on Trash Island by Tyboy Digital, Blade, and Echo 2K.
I would say track number 3
Track number
moved
3.
me most.
Track 3 is Waterfall.
What's your favourite animal?
Badger.
Is it really?
Thanks, Daniel.
Thank you, Michael.
And last one, do you have anything you want to promote?
Yeah, I'm doing... well, first, please watch my things on Instagram and TikTok. That'd be
Watch
lovely.
Daniel's videos on Instagram and TikTok.
Depending on when you're listening to this, I'm launching a podcast.
What's it called?
Potentially Welcome to Hell,
Welcome to Hell.
but it could be...
It's a rock podcast.
Yeah. It could be something completely different. But if this is like, if you're watching this 6 months from, if you're watching this in mid to late 2023, please look up my podcast. I'm doing an Edinburgh show this year. It's called Villain. You mentioned it.
Let's go.
So I'll be in Edinburgh every day of August, and then hopefully doing some shows afterwards around the country. But that is TBC. But
Yes.
please,
I will be Daniel's tour support on that
Michael is
tour.
my tour support
Just to
and
make that official.
tour manager.
No, let's not be silly. Can I be your tour support? Can you say I've got it on video?
Yeah, as long as certain things don't come out, you can absolutely be my tour support.
Yeah. Well,
But
that's
if they do, then no.
really.
And if he isn't at that time, you'll know why.
I've always felt like you've had a clear understanding that death is final.
Yes, thank you. I think that's what I give off. That said, I would love to be a ghost. Would
Okay.
you like to be a ghost?
What would that entail? Just like haunting?
Just, would you like to know that
Some version of an afterlife?
presence lingers?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, that'd be fucking unreal.
Because I've always seen you as someone that craves the void, but
I don't crave the void, I fear the void.
okay.
And in order to overcome the void, you must become the void.
Okay.